everybody, welcome to Unit 1 of the massive open online course on Indonesia 101. In this unit, we are going to talk about Indonesia as an archipelagic country. Especially, we are going to talk about how the fact that Indonesia as an archipelagic country may affect its multiculturalism and its openness that we are going to talk about later in the following unit. Okay, so we start with the first um, slide. Yeah. So we're talking about some facts about Indonesia as an archipelagic country. As you can see on the slide, yeah, you see the green area on the slide. Yeah, this is the area that is now known as Indonesia. So we have here the composition of big and small islands. We see here that there are about five big islands. The first one in the western tip of Indonesia is called Sumatra. Yeah, so this is Sumatra. And then next to it is Kalimantan. And then next to Kalimantan is Sulawesi. And then below Kalimantan is the island called Java. Yeah. And then the one in the western tip is called Papua. Beside these five big islands, we can also find a lot more of smaller islands. And the number of smaller islands in Indonesia is actually much bigger than those five big islands. So the report released by the Ministry of Maritime and Fishery, which was released in 2020, mentioned that there are about 16,070 and 771 islands in Indonesia. And out of this number, as I have mentioned earlier, there are five big major islands. Yeah. And of course, there are a lot more number of smaller islands. Yeah. Okay. And then if we talk about the location of Indonesia, yeah, in the world and also I think in Southeast Asia, because Indonesia is located in Southeast Asia, we find here Indonesia, the one, yeah, in the southern part of the map here, yeah, is located, yeah, between the Indian Ocean, yeah, and the Pacific Ocean, yeah. So the Pacific Ocean is here, yeah, and the Indian Ocean is here, and Indonesia is located between these two big oceans. And so its strategic location will enable the archipelago to be the sites of the melting pot, yeah, or maybe a melting point, yeah, of highly varied ethnicities from around the world. And I think the connection and the trade, I think, between Indonesian traders and traders from outside the archipelago has had already happened maybe 100 years ago. Yeah. And so I think it is also supported maybe by a study, yeah, a genetic study by Marian K. Tumongor and her colleagues. In the study, they found that Indonesians actually host a wide range of linguistic, ethnic, and genetic diversity. So the study is actually maybe genetic justification of Indonesians. This is actually, I think, back up maybe the findings about the openness of Indonesia in terms of its location, as well as the genetic composition of the people. So in the study, it is found that the genetic composition of Indonesians um, is varied, yeah, and it consists of maybe a number and a variety of ethnicities, yeah, including Chinese, Indians, Arabs, and Europeans. And the contact among these ethnicities actually has taken place. I think it started about the period of 50,000 years, yeah, and the contact happened in the areas that are now known as Indonesia. And it is also backed up maybe or justified maybe by the fact that during the period of Dutch, yeah, during the Dutch colonization, um, the sea had been an important role, yeah, had been playing an important role in the life of the people in the archipelago. So we refer to the location, yeah, of the place, the strategic location of the place, and we know that the sea, of course, from the location, sea was important, of course, yeah, for the connection of the people in the archipelago with the people coming from outside the archipelago. So the significance, yeah, of seas for people in Indonesia or in the archipelago can be seen maybe from the way Indonesian view their life, in which names, yeah, or terms related to water has been used as a significant marker of their life. So if we talk about coastal areas in the archipelago, in Indonesia it is called pesisir, and pesisir in the old time, yeah, before the coming of the Dutch colonization, was considered to be the centers, not the periphery. Nowadays, coastal areas tend to be seen as the periphery, not the center. So sea has been, at that time, sea was seen as the center of people's lives. So anything related to sea had been the central basis of people's life. And I think an example of this can be taken from the sea cultures of Bugis people, yeah, people living in South Sulawesi. They are called Bugis people. And Bugis people have been known around the world, yeah, as having good navigation skill. Yeah, they have been known, very well known, for having excellent navigation skill. And there is a study by Parimarta, yeah, who notes that some of the Bugis astonishing skills include the tabulation of monsoon patterns, as well as the rhythms of the winds and the local seas. And the information or the knowledge about this is useful and very important for the life livelihoods of Bugis people, because this information become the basis of deciding, yeah, when they meet their business partners, when they can have the business deal, and so on. Yeah, and so this is also aided maybe by the fact that the Hulu-Hilir distinctions, yeah, Hulu-Hilir distinction refers to the distinction between people living in the upper land, yeah, which is who are called the Hulu people, and people who are living in the lower part of the land, who are called the Hilir people. So we know that from the existence of the term, that the connection with the water becomes one of the important marker in naming the geographical location of people. Yeah, and this has been noted in pre-colonial people, yeah, living in Sumatra, Sulawesi, and Kalimantan. And so this is an important geographical markers giving us information about the importance of sea for people living in the archipelago in the old time. Yeah, and I think the similar pattern can also be found in people living in some other parts of Southeast Asia, such as in Philippines and in the Malay Peninsula. And also many sources, yeah, have documented that the vast array of water and sea has made people easily connected by sea. Yeah. So then it can be seen that in the old time, sea was seen as a connector rather than as a separator. So we know the difference, yeah, between the ways we view sea nowadays in Indonesia nowadays, and I think this is also, I think, common maybe, yeah, in other parts of the world. Seas tend to be seen as separator rather than connector. Yeah. So this is very much different from the way people view sea, like what I have just discussed and mentioned earlier. Yeah. Related to the distinction between the Hulu and Hilir people. And even the tradition of merantau, yeah, merantau is a, a name maybe or a term that we use for non-permanent migration. And this is a tradition that is common among people living in West Sumatra. So people living there, especially the males, are expected to go outside of their place, yeah, in order to find a better living. And once they have been settled down in the new place, they are expected to go back to the place. Yeah, but sometimes these people find that the new place uh, has given them more hope, so they decided to live in the new place. So the tradition of merantau also has been developed, yeah, in the Hulu area in Sumatra, and it actually refers to the fact that they were encouraged to live and to move non-permanently to the Hilir areas. And another study, I think, that show, yeah, the openness and the multiculturalism of people in the archipelago in the old time is also shown by the study by Debris, yeah, Theodore Debris and his two sons. Yeah. So Debris is actually a documenter maybe, yeah, a person, yeah, who um, who recorded, yeah, um, the situation and the description of other places, yeah, by making report and by drawing pictures in order to give information to the reader or to the people about the description of some places, yeah, in the world. And so the report made by Debris, yeah, in the 1601, yeah, in the 17th century, about a port city in West Java called Banten, shows the openness and multiculturalism of the people. And I think this can be shown maybe in the picture, yeah, that you can see in the slide. Interestingly, Debris' report about Banten in 17th century is quite different from his report about the natives of American, yeah, the natives on American continent. In his report about the natives of American continent, Debris tends to describe them as being cannibalistic, as being uncivilized, as being crude and harsh. But if we find his description about people living in Banten as a port city, we find here a more positive description about the place and its people. We found the description that the people had a better, maybe, or a more advanced sense of art, more advanced manner, and they don't eat human flesh. Yeah. So, in short, maybe we can say that the brief account of Banten in the 17th century show the openness and the multiculturalism of the people. And I think the images show that how ethnically varied the traders coming to Banten in 17th century. These traders include the Arabs, Persians, Turks, Chinese, Burmese, and Malays. And these are well captured in the pictures drawn by Debris. Uh, Also, there is also another study by Blues, yeah, about the maritime power of the archipelago in Southeast Asia before the arrival of Europeans. So during that time, major and minor ports thrived, and the region was the center of complex network of trading routes. Yeah. The place, yeah, the site was used as a site for bringing goods from the interior rivers and connecting this with the seaports that linked across the region and beyond. Yeah, so you can find maybe the diversity, the vibrant, yeah, of the multicultural society in the archipelago, yeah, before the coming of Dutch people. And the glory of the sea people, yeah, in the past was also seen, yeah, in the glory of Majapahit and Srivijaya. So Majapahit and Srivijaya were two big kingdoms in Indonesia. Um, Srivijaya was one of the biggest Buddhist kingdom, while Majapahit was one of the biggest Hindus kingdom in the archipelago before the coming of the Dutch. Yeah. So we can see in the map here, yeah, that the places, yeah, or the areas, yeah, that are colored, yeah, by the yellowish, yeah, the orange, yeah, the light, yeah, the light orange here, yeah, is actually the area that become the areas under the occupation of Majapahit. Yeah, so the area I think stretches from the the tip of the island that we now call Sumatra. Yeah, until Papua. So it's practically the areas that are now known as Indonesia. So we can imagine how big Majapahit was at that time, yeah, considering the occupied, yeah, considering the occupied areas of Majapahit. And I think one of the legacy maybe of the sea power of Majapahit is the motto, yeah, the Indonesian motto, which is now still used, yeah, by the Indonesian Navy, yeah, and it is called Jalas Veva Jayamahi, and it is actually derived, yeah, from the motto in Majapahit era, and it was used to ignite the spirit of Majapahit soldiers, yeah, in the fights against the enemy on waters, yeah. It is also, I mean, the power, yeah, of the sea people in the past is also manifest in the thing in the motto that is now common maybe among Indonesians, and this motto is Nenek moyangku seorang pelaut, which can be translated into English as my ancestors were seafarers. So I think from these two motto, it can be seen that sea was actually very much a central place for Indonesia. And the map, yeah, the map that we can find here is actually the map of Srivijaya, yeah, although the area that was occupied by Srivijaya is not as big as Majapahit, but I think we can still find, yeah, the glory of Majapahit, yeah, because it stretches, I think, yeah, until areas outside Indonesia, yeah, in Southeast Asia, until Khmer, yeah, and Champa, yeah. So it stretches, I think, until Vietnam, yeah, and Cambodia. So it's such a big area. And considering, yeah, the glory of the sea, the importance of sea in the past, it is unfortunate that we see now Indonesia in current time is not developing the sea cultures anymore, because many of the state's policies are based more on land rather than on sea. So this land paradigm, I think to some extent, has been influenced by the European colonialism. And this can be seen from the application of the Kulturstelsel, yeah, which is translated into English as forced cultivation system or tanam paksa, which was applied in 19th century. And the policies actually was actually disadvantaging the natives, yeah, because under the application of the policy, the natives were forced maybe to plant specific crops that were beneficial for, of course, for the Dutch colonizers to be exported, yeah, and these specific crops include tobaccos and then sugar canes, yeah, they were, and also spices maybe, and they were some popular and profitable commodities, yeah, in 19th century. So these land-based economic activities forced the natives to shift their maritime cultures to agricultural ones. Thus, the maritime spirit or jiwa bahari, which had become the pride of the Indonesians for hundreds of years, were eliminated. But under Jokowi's presidency, there have been attempts to revitalize Indonesia's past maritime glory. And I think it is visible in the president's first, first term rule. Yeah, there was the vision under his first term rule called the World Maritime Axis or Poros Maritim Dunia, and this was stated in the President's Regulation number 16, 2017. So the vision, yeah, of the maritime axis states that Indonesia should be an advanced, independent, and strong country. Yeah. So by declaring as a maritime state, Indonesia has maybe the potential maybe to be maybe superpower maybe in the field of economy, security, and defense. Yeah, but again, maybe this vision is good, but it has to be applied in. It has to be implemented, so it brings real benefits to Indonesians, and probably it can regain maybe the maritime pride of Indonesia in the past. Thank you, and see you in the next unit.